Welcome to the Barnes Flyover. This is your monthly update on all things 104th Fighter Wing, what's happening at Barnes Air National Guard Base, and how they're making an impact right here in the community of Westfield. Whether you're here to learn something new, check out what's happening, or just to hang out and listen, this podcast has got you covered. Let's take off into today's episode.
Woo!
Hey, welcome back. Nice to see you guys. This is our second season.
Episode 13.
Right. So it's episode 1, season 2.
Yes.
If we do it like that, like Netflix. So, yeah.
Johnny on the intro. Thank you, Johnny. Happy Memorial Day. Happy summer.
Yes. The weather today is beautiful. This is my favorite kind of weather. It's not too hot. It's got a nice breeze.
I know you went camping last weekend, and it was a little bit quite the opposite.
Yeah, we left early, too. I mean, there's no point in camping. So I have a camper. And there's no point in camping inside your camper and watching movies. Like, we could just go home and do that. Plus, everything's wet, and you have to lay it out. And
oh, yeah. It's nothing worse.
Yeah, nothing worse than it was cold, too. It wasn't just rainy. It was cold. So, anyways.
I think we had a very busy May. We got a very busy June, so please stay tuned. While we have you for this half an hour, please make sure you are hitting that bell. You are hitting that thumbs up. It helps our numbers. Please leave a comment. It helps us. We want to hear what you all have to say. So, yeah, make sure you do that. And without further ado.
Well, actually, speaking of what you have to say, so I did do something in the community recently, and someone said to me, "It's a military podcast. Why are you not in uniform?" Well, Jay and I'm retired. Jay's prior Coast Guard, but we're no longer in the military, which is why we're not wearing a uniform. However, we do represent the 104th Fighter Wing, and we wear our Air Force shirts.
And trust me, I could not fit into that Coast Guard uniform anymore. I would look like a big blueberry. So we're all happy we're not doing that.
But we do work at a military base. We're Title V, and we do public affairs for the 104th Fighter Wing. So that helps answer that question, because I did get asked that.
All right, good question.
I also got somebody who said they do really much appreciate being able to watch us on Channel 15. So kudos to you, Pete. And that they just want us to continue to inform them on what we're doing in the community.
Awesome.
Yeah, so good.
All right, let's get
All right, let's get
here.
going.
Let's get it started with our Today in Aviation History, my favorite segment of the day. May 29th, 1940, we had the maiden flight of the prototype XF4U Corsair. We all know that.
I feel like we don't use those letter number combos like we used to, because I think last month was a weird one too.
Yeah, but very crucial plane in history. It was used heavily in World War II. 2,140 air-to-air kills during World War II. That puts it at an 11-to-1 ratio, which isn't quite as awesome as the 104-to-0 in the F-15, but still pretty impressive. It had that gull wing design, which you can see in that photo there. If you can't see it, it kind of has like the wings of it are almost flapped up like a bird at the end, and that was to help accommodate the extremely heavy Pratt & Whitney engines, as well as the heavy armament that it was able to carry. So that prototype, May 29, 1940, big turning point in American history, big turning point in the World War there. So, all right, yes.
Yeah. Who have lost our way. Goodness.
Oh yeah.
He's quick on his feet back there.
Love it. All right, so that is your Today in Aviation History.
All right, let's get moving to what we did in the community.
All right.
So we are always busy in the community. The first thing that happened in May was Camp Moses. Our LRS and Maintenance Squadron members went over to Camp Moses, where the scouts usually have their camp up there, and they put up tents, assisted as needed, cleaned up the facility. They were there all day long, so that was a good one. We also went to Westfield Aviation Museum. They had their big day, their open house fly day, May 16th. We had our fire trucks there to do like a touch-a-truck thing to show the kids and people. Our Thunderbolt Council was there, Public Affairs, I was there, and we also had many volunteers there assisting with that. But what Public Affairs is trying to get into the community more, so that if you have questions, you can just come up to us and ask us. We usually have some flyers that advertise what the base history is about and whatnot. So,
and I believe they give out free flights, and they're
They
planes
did.
in the hangar there.
They
I know
did.
one person who was extremely, extremely happy they got their flight.
What was her? Ruth.
Yes.
Ruth. I don't remember her last name, but Ruth is a fan of, she comes and visits us on base. Her husband was on our base for a long time, and she got to go on a flight. She was so happy. She was so happy. So next in the community, we did a Westfield Intermediate School tour. As we talked about before, even though we don't have the jets right now, there are ways to see other things on base. And we focused on showing this school the positions available on the base that are not a military requirement. So like our state employees, kind of like how Jay and I mentioned earlier, we work on the base, we're civilian employees. And so our highlighted career fields for that was security forces, fire department, and our CE.
And they do an amazing job. They have so many materials to show everyone. They do it live examples. They do such an amazing job.
Yeah, and when the kids were in CE, they got to walk through the snowplow bay, the snow equipment bay, and they're massive because these are the equipment that clears the flight line.
And I think they took turns sitting in one of our fire trucks.
They did, and the snowplows.
Very cool.
They got in both of them, yeah. Moving on, Brad Caney. He is now newly retired, but works as the Wellness Center, and he's a civilian. He was reading to preschoolers on May 28th. He went to Old Saybrook, Connecticut,
Very nice.
and met with a bunch of preschoolers there and was reading stories to them. So that was very nice. Then we had Media Day in May. We basically wanted to give media a chance to come out and learn about all of the new restrictions and things that we have going on base when the F-35 comes. We wanted them to know what to expect, what the photo and video requirements are, and we gave them lunch. The commander talked with them, and we also gave them a tour of the base. And then Memorial Day, Colonel Stephen Reynolds, our deputy commander, he spoke at the Westfield ceremony. So even though it rained out, we had no parade, we still had a ceremony at the school, and Colonel Reynolds was there talking for that.
Awesome.
And importantly here, we had mutual aid we have every month. So we get phone calls coming in from the community saying, hey, we need your support as far as our fire department. So May 6th, they got a call from East Hampton, fortunately canceled en route. May 16th, Westfield called. That also had to be canceled en route. They no longer needed them. 18 May, they did a mutual aid to Westfield for a rapid intervention team. Engine 7 responded to 2 family residents, performed secondary fire search, overhaul, and search for missing pets. And good news, the pets were found.
That is the key one right there. Pets were found.
Yes,
Love it.
I will give that credit to Westfield. Westfield did find the pets for them. So, yeah, so that's what we did in May in the community. Let's hear what we've done on base.
All right, a lot of things going on base. Our communications squadron just got back from Cyber Yankee exercise. So this is the 12th year that the National Guard has participated in the Cyber Yankee. This year, there were more than 360 participants. And one of the most unique things about Cyber Yankee is that it has the guardsmen work with civilian partners. Those civilian partners focuses on civilian infrastructure such as natural gas, electricity, and water. And we were talking about this morning about like the active duty side versus the guard side. And one of the key things here is that in the Guard, you have your state mission and your federal mission. So there are going to be times where you're going to have to work with civilian infrastructure and civilian companies. So during Cyber Yankee, they were placed into different teams. We also had our state partners from Cyprus, Brazil, El Salvador, Kenya, Paraguay, Uruguay, Canada, and Sweden participate.
Wow. Okay.
As well as all the military branches, the Coast Guard, Air Force, Marines, Navy, Space Force, the whole nine. So they were broken down into different teams, and essentially there was an attacking team, there was a defending team where it was protecting against cyber threats. So that was a really cool exercise. I love seeing the pictures of that and the story
and we
that
had
is on.
2 members from the comm squadron.
We had 2 members there from our comm squadron, yes.
Major Estelle Jordan and Senior Airman Nicholas Murphy. We always support this.
Yep, and that was at Camp Net in Niantic, Connecticut, a beautiful place. So that was a really cool exercise.
All right.
All right. May 12 to May 14, we had our MARE exercise, big exercise on base. That stands for Major Accident Response Exercise. And then we have a quote here from Senior Master Sergeant Sandra Kreider, who is our 104th Fighter Wing IG Superintendent. She describes the exercise as a part of our ongoing commitment to ensuring the safety and preparedness of our personnel. This exercise is designed to test our response procedures and enhance our readiness in the event of a critical incident. So that was really awesome to see. It took the entire base working together, different things.
Yeah, we did bring in community resources as well. We had Westfield PD, and we did have OSI from Westover. So this type of exercise brings in community partners as well, so that we all work on the same page and we train the same way.
Yeah, and that's the point of training, is to find the cracks so you can correct them. So if anything were to happen, you're buttoned up, you're in shape, you know all your processes and procedures, and yeah, that worked really well, especially for even like the public affairs side of thing. I learned a lot from the exercise.
We had base cleanup day.
Base cleanup day. I think I saw some wheelbarrows out there.
There were some wheelbarrows, but then there was these big trucks. I've never seen this happen on base cleanup day, but I thought it was so cool. Ryan Ratcliffe is driving the backhoe there. Is that what that is, a backhoe? And they were pulling out dead, like massive dead bushes at the LRS building. Yeah, that's a sad bush right there, but they managed to get it out completely. And like I said, Ryan Ratcliffe came in with his backhoe and they pulled it out.
Very cool. So base cleanup day is part of something that we do every year, but this year it is even more important as we continue to gear up for that F-35 arrival. Speaking of that, we are doing our Building 1 remodel project. The top photo there, if you are watching the YouTube, if not, if you're on the podcast, there was a very, very large mural on a wall, which was, I think, painted in the 70s, if I want to. No, that can't be right.
I think it was the 70s, but it was iconic because this is where a lot of people swore into the military. My enlistment photo is in front of this mural. So we did take a photo of this, so it will be, we will still have it preserved for history in a photo, but they painted over it.
Yeah, so Building 1 is getting a huge revamp. It's getting modernized. It's getting very sleek, and
a lot of it's been
good
painted
stuff
over.
Going on there.
Let's leave it there.
Speaking of things we do every year, May 15th, we had our 39th annual F-100 rededication, originally dedicated in 1987. This ceremony honors the 13 fallen barnstormers since 1948. Melanie, this was a really touching event. It went beautifully. The weather was amazing, but it's always a little bit of a somber ceremony.
Yeah, we bring out family members, whether it be the children of the fallen or, spouses or other people. But we've had 13 fallen since 1948. 12 of them were pilots. One of them was a crew chief flying with a pilot. But this year we did things a little same ceremony, but they redid the program so that instead of seeing pictures of news articles or obituaries, there's actually a story of each person in the pamphlet, so you get a little bit more of a background. And remember, we were a guard base, so a lot of these members, when they passed away, had civilian jobs as well.
Yes.
And so, we have got these stories on our website, on our socials. You guys can read into them and hear about their backgrounds. One of them had 6 children, so these people had stories, and so we redid the brochures, the pamphlets, so that their stories are in there now. And then also another new thing we did was we created honor flags. So as you drive into the base, on the flag poles, you'll see pictures of each one of the fallen members, the date that they passed away and where they were when that happened.
And Melanie's being a little bit modest there because that was a huge effort that she mainly spearheaded. I didn't touch it at all, so thank you for doing that.
I love history, and it's the story of the 104th and how these members were a part of it. They all have such incredible stories. They were all heroes when they went down. Several of them were avoiding fields of people or, Hamden Ponds where there was people on the beaches. And they would stay with the aircraft to steer away from it so that they would save lives. So these guys, they really were heroes.
Yeah, and we also have the entire ceremony on video. Thanks to Pete and his amazing fancy gadgets, we have the entire thing on video. That is on our YouTube page, that is on Divids, and another update, we now have videos on our 104th.ang
Yes, and
website.
That is the hard work that Jay does.
Thank you, and
Jay
that video is up
website.
there.
Any prior public affairs multimedia people will understand the turmoil in having to run our website, and Jay's got this. So
if anyone has ever worked with the
the program.
The program,
it's not easy.
But yeah, the video is up there now if anyone wants to go see it. I think it's about 27 minutes long. It's from start to finish. It covers the ceremony, the 21-gun salute. Unfortunately, no flyover this year, but next year we're going to be getting back to that, I hope. So.
Yeah. So.
And then I do have one quote I wanted to read quickly from Colonel Michael Glass, our 104th Fighter Wing commander, about the ceremony. Honoring the fallen is one of the greatest commitments we can hold as active service members. So that was a really powerful quote. I thought that was emulated the ceremony pretty well there.
So we also have the Barnes Run Club.
I got to join this. I'm going to scan this QR code right now.
So yeah, there is a QR code there. So if you are watching it, this is a really cool patch. It's not actually a patch. It's just been created, but no one actually made it come to, to be.
TBD.
So I talked with Pat, and I was like, "Hey, do we?" It's Pat Guyani who's running this, and I said, "Do we get a free patch or a T-shirt or something if we join the club?" And he says he is thinking of it. So I say we get a whole bunch more people to sign up for this club. It happens on Thursdays, ongoing on Thursdays, depending on weather, depending on the time of day. You are to follow some of these instructions here on the flyer. Download a free app called Strava. And that's where he will communicate with you about any changes in the schedule, whether it be like a morning run or an afternoon run. The goal is to eventually incorporate other things to help with running so that ultimately they can get to the 2-mile run that's needed for the PT test. But all abilities are asked to join this, and you could be military or civilian. And my hope is that we get a patch or a T-shirt. Look at that. It's the F-35 flying over a track running.
That is a sick patch.
And it says Barnstormers Run Club. So I love that. I really do. So go look into that.
All right. What else we have on base? We did our BSP. Melanie, you can speak a bit more to this since you were very heavily invested in this exercise.
The BSP is the base spares package. So it was our next milestone to getting the F-35. It covers, it's on our LRS, our logistics supply side of the house, where they are holding on to high readiness inventory of the F-35's most frequently used components. So such as parts needed to sustain flight operations, support equipment such as fuel filters, tires, wheels, and they also include frequently used Pratt & Whitney parts are kept there too. Okay. They have a range of 2,200 items and a depth of over 5,000. Team from Lockheed Martin was there to assist, as well as the 115th and the 173rd, and they completed the task early. It was supposed to take about 2 weeks. They were done very early. Aaron Gadge is our field representative from F-35, and he stays with us on base. And he said, once again, the 104th set a new standard on how to prepare and execute a BSP induction for a new site. So we are doing great things at the 104th. We're always ahead of schedule and doing great stuff. So there's a story of that on the Air Scoop coming up soon, and it'll be on our socials. And then Jay, this is the most exciting.
This is really cool. It has been happening, and there's been more happening today. There will be more happening in the future. After 29 years, the static A-10 display is being moved, and it took flight, kind of.
It did. It started flying again. I mean, whether the crane was holding it and the wind was blowing it in the wind, I say that A-10 flew again.
So stay tuned for lots of really cool content from that. We've got videos coming out soon, a story coming out soon, photos coming out soon. So, and why is that A-10 being moved?
The A-10's being moved because we now have what's called a Field of Dreams, which actually is unofficial. Mm-hmm. It's just been the nickname, and I really think they should put it on a plaque. But the Field of Dreams is where all of the aircraft that we've had on base is being displayed in one spot, and you'll be able to walk around them. Eventually, there'll be a running track, like a park-like place for it, but it's right on the inside of our new main gate. Mm-hmm. It looks beautiful already, but the A-10 needs to be moved over there with the rest of its friends. And in order to move it, it first had to come up with a crane. And so see some pictures here. This huge, massive crane lifts it off its pedestal and dropped it down on the road in front of the old main gate on the inside of it. And then soon, a Chinook helicopter will be moving it. It's got to be, parts have to be taken off of it because it's so heavy. There's been some things leading up to it. They took off the inert bombs on it today, and they're going to be just doing things to make it lighter so that the Chinook helicopter can lift this thing up off the ground and move it to the Field of Dreams area where it will be placed on the ground. And then another fun fact, look into socials, but there is a time capsule in the A-10 that was placed there 29 years ago.
I don't know if we're going to tease that, but I like it.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Find out what was in that time capsule placed 29 years ago. Historically, when an aircraft is moved off of its static display, that's when you open up the time capsule, and then you are to refill it with new stuff, seal it again for when it goes to its new location. So.
Yeah, and we at the time we weren't even sure where it was. We thought it could be in the cockpit, it could be in a panel. So we went searching, but it was found, and it was a really fun.
Yeah, and stay tuned. We'll have a story on that in the Air Scoop, and we will have socials to show you guys what was found inside it.
Love it.
Yep.
All right, we have a chair.
We have a chair.
Moving on to the chair.
The officer's bench. All I'm going to say is that the officers in the communication squadron were asked to build a bench. And so they went out in the back and found scrap pieces of wood and built a bench. So I'm just going to say reach out to them for questions, but they are very proud of this. It actually looks like a chair, but they call it a bench.
I call that a shin breaker. Look at that.
It's solid. You can stand on it. But they have it on display in the hallway. So feel free to ask any of the officers in the communication squadron if they built their bench. All right.
Awesome. We got some warbirds coming soon.
We do. This is exciting. I just heard about this. So in our community, we are going to be starting to see from June 10th to the 14th. It is the world's most famous flying B-29 Super Fortress, and other warbirds will be on display. You can, for the public, so you can get rides in them or tours around them. But that is coming up, and it will be at Barnes Airport, so that'll be a front. There's a website you can go to, www.airpowertour.org, where you can get some more information on that. But this overlaps with the Westfield Aviation Museum Pancake Breakfast. And the Pancake Breakfast is completely free. The Aviation Museum in Hangar 3, all of their events are free to the public. Always on weekends. So June 13th is their fly-in pancake breakfast. It's going to have everything, including, it's not just pancakes, it's pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage, and Bob's famous hurricane sauce. I don't know what that is. Hopefully they'll have syrup as well. We are New England. And kudos to whoever made this flyer. It's really cool. It even has like the hanger.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's like that, almost like that World War II vibe.
Yeah,
I like it.
I don't want to say it was ChatGPT. I want to say someone made this, but it is a really cool flyer.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Great. So Westfield Aviation Museum does a lot of free events on the weekend. So there's a few more. July 18th, hot dog burger burn, and August 15th they're doing a movie night. Their lobby is dedicated to the 104th Fighter Wing and the history of it. So, so it's completely free. Living museum. So, okay.
All right. So that was what we did in base. Now let's talk about what we have going on in the community.
So we have Smith Vocational School coming out. We're going to do the same kind of tour with them. They are specifically asking to see security forces and fire department. So we'll do the same type of tour with them, as we won't have F-35s at the time of them coming.
And I believe that is our last pre-F-35 tour, correct?
It is, yes.
Okay.
But if anybody, like a vocational school, or like we will be talking with Earl Bonnet about a little bit later, our guest, how to do different tours if of course everyone's interested in the F-35, but we do have some other educational tours that can be catered to the needs of a vocational school or a history lesson or something like that.
Yeah, and as I said, everyone that helps us plan and conduct the tour, they do such an amazing job. They really get down to like the nuts and bolts of everything, and it's really educational.
And they're great with the kids.
That too.
They really are. Exciting thing here, we have Chief Counsel Scholarship Awards.
Woo!
And the winners are Brandon Tchaikovsky and Haley St. Jean.
Congratulations to both. That is amazing.
Yep, so they've already been notified, and they will be receiving their scholarships soon. Seniors in the community at Westfield Schools.
Love it. All right, environmental restoration program. We have our
one more. Flip the page. Springfield Chamber of Commerce will be coming out for a breakfast. Their breakfast event, and where they get to know more about the community and the wing and the base, and they're going to also get a little tour of the base. And then the last thing we have going on in the community, Green River Wellness. That is our medical squadron going to Kentucky to provide no-cost health care to the region. So that will be happening in June as well. Now we can go to.
Sorry, I got a little excited there. July 23rd, next month, we have our month and a half. We have our next Restoration Advisory Board meeting. Those are open to any of the public to attend. And what those board meetings are, it talks about the environmental restoration program, some of the efforts that Barnes and the National Guard is spearheading as far as sample testing and just making sure that, you know, all environmental things are up to par.
Yes. All right, what do we got going on in the base? This is your spot.
All right, upcoming on base. We got drill coming up. We got a lifting event at the gym, the Barnes Lift-a-thon. I think last time there was a couple people that made the, this is like a 500 bench, 500 squat club.
Was it 300, 500,000? If you're into that, there's flyers all over the gym.
Nothing I can do, but no. Kids Club will be Saturday only for this upcoming drill. MX and LRS will be having their family day. Don't be surprised if I try and crash one of those days. Church services Sunday, May 3rd. 1100 will be the Catholic Mass. 1230 will be the General Christian Worship, and that will be at Building 54, which is the LRS building, I believe, in the classroom.
That's right.
All right, what else we got? Ooh, June 1 through June 6. This is going to be a really cool exercise. I learned a lot more about this yesterday, and it sounds really awesome. Can't wait to see all the content that comes out of it. ACC Patient Decontamination Course. Excuse me. So we have, I believe, 72 people coming to Barnes over those 5-6 days. June 1, 2, 3 is one course. June 4, 5, 6 is another course. And we have reps from NGB coming down to observe the course. But essentially, we are training over, 7 units? The 103rd, the 104th, the 114th, the 150th, the 158th, and the 161st are all going to be participating. And they're going to be doing a capstone exercise on essentially how to, and I have a little blurb about it, 19-person UTC designed to decontaminate patient prior to clinic entry and care in the event of contamination. So this is a deployable skill, and this is kind of like talks about our always ready airmen. So it's great to have people get that training so they are able to deploy if needed. And again, really, really cool training. It's going to have to deal with decontaminating in the field, decontaminating, making sure that that patient is able to get there safely and transit to any kind of medical facility where they can receive additional care. But there's going to be that initial field care, making sure that they are not, going to be contaminating any kind of other thing. So.
Yeah, and so just keep up. It's going to be a busy area around the medical building, communications, medical PA building. They'll be doing things outside on the front lawn there. But just keep in mind that we do have some leadership coming out, and we also have all of those different units coming as our guests.
Yes.
So you may see a couple unfamiliar faces.
And be sure to look out for that story, hopefully in a couple of weeks. What else do we have? We have our Emotional Intelligence 2.0 course, which our head chaplain, Captain Joshua Carollo, is continuing to advocate. I've been to a couple of these. I have always find them very beneficial. I feel like I learn a lot. And again, it's emotional intelligence. It's helping the airmen become always ready, helping them master
Emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence. Yep. Thank you, Melanie.
That'll be June 9th, and it is looking like the last class for a little bit, and that one's open to any rank. Anybody can sign up.
Awesome.
We also have Air Education and Training Command coming out, which is cool. AETC is coming to the base to teach our members that need F-35 specific training. It'll be going on from June to August, so it's kind of like courses for each section and what they need, but they're coming to us, which makes it a lot easier on our members who have families and they don't have to relocate or have to go away. So that's going to make it a lot better. And we have our alumni dinner. Just a heads up, it's July 15th. Same price, same place, same time. And if you have any questions about the alumni dinner, Tom Sandville, Len Freegon, Tom Sandville's phone number, 413-433-2529. or Len Freegon, 413-589-9157. And just reach out to them. They also have a Facebook alumni group. You can always call the Public Affairs office, email us. We can give you the contact information. But July 15th is the next alumni dinner.
Okay.
And then we have a reminder from the Wellness Center. This is good. VTC Adult MFLAC starting 25 May. That's virtual, like teleconferencing. So they're going to be doing video, Teams, telephone coverage for military family life counseling adults. So if you have adult children or you yourself or your spouse, they are going to be here to support Barnes members and their adult family members 25 May through 22 August. And just reach out to the Wellness Center or check your email. There was a base-wide email that got sent out about that. And Michelle Tarka and the Wellness Center could also answer some more questions on that. It's a really great resource. It's free. It's a free therapy counseling resource.
Okay. That's
And
awesome.
all the eligibility it is that you are of adult age and you're a member or of some sort to Barnes.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then we're done. But our guest coming up is Earl Bonnet from the Employer Support of Guard and Reserve.
Yes.
Huge resource, very, very important. One of the initial resources that were created for the Guard and Reserve
Oh, wow.
due to the unique requirements that Guard and Reserve have, having to manage a civilian career and a military career. And it's like the number one resource that anybody who's a guardsman should know about.
Absolutely. All right, we got a lot coming up for you, as you saw in our upcoming. So make sure you stay tuned to all of our channels, all of our Facebook pages, Instagram, Divids, YouTube, everything else, and we'll make sure to bring you all of that content. And we'll be right back with Earl Bonnet.
Oh, you know what? I've
Yes.
got one more saved around here before. I got a text from Chief Kelly. They are doing a golf event on June 12th. It is sold out, and they do have people on reserve. However, you can show up around 3 for hors d'oeuvres, raffles, and cocktails. So you can still participate if you want. June 12th, reach out to Chief Kelly. There are some flyers around too. If you look at one of our air scoops or on the SharePoint, you'll definitely see some more flyers there. The golf game itself is sold out, but you could still participate with the fun in the evening.
Awesome.
Okay, that's it. And we'll let's look for
Be
Earl
back with
Bonnet.
Earl.
Look, everybody wanna go and talk. At the same time, gotta walk. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again.
Welcome back. We have our guest here that we mentioned earlier, Earl Bonnet, who is from the Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, which is ESGR. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Welcome. Always great to see you, Earl.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
ESGR is one of the most important resources that a Guard or Reserve member can have, and that is because a Guard and Reserve member bounces between a civilian employer and their military employer, and it doesn't always match up, especially when deployments happen or last-minute needs. And so, Earl, tell me, what is ESGR? What do you guys do?
Well, our official mantra is our goal is to gain and maintain employer support for the Guard and Reserve. Notice I said the employer's support. We're trying to get their support. We have basically several different areas that we work in, but mine in particular right now is dealing with issues that a service member may have with his or her employer.
What kind of issues might someone have?
Well, in today's military, it's no longer one weekend a month. It often is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then maybe even Monday. So that puts a burden on the employer. And often there'll be changes in the agenda, and the military needs a particular service member more often than they would have in the past.
Okay.
Correct.
So when a guardsman has to go perform their guardsman duty, the employer legally has to allow them, correct?
Absolutely, and that's where a lot of our issues begin. An employer says, well, I need you this weekend, so you can't go. And as you said, the law says the employer must release the service member to do his duty to our country. There are other parts of it. A lot of times an employer will say, okay, I know you got to go. You're going to have to find somebody to replace you. And that, again, is a violation of the law. It's the employer's responsibility to find a replacement or to manage a schedule, not the service member.
Now, what happens, say someone gets deployed and they come back and they find out, while you were gone, we no longer needed your position and we've moved you to a different location, or we were promoting people and since you weren't here, you didn't get promoted.
Right.
There are a whole lot of different issues out of that. So let's take the first one that you mentioned. Your position is no longer here. What the law states is that when a service member returns to his civilian employment, he or she must be placed either in the position they had before they left or one that most nearly approximates it. That means there's three criteria: pay, schedule, location, and the most important for a lot of people, status.
That's correct. All right. So I hear there's been a lot of problems recently, and again, that's because of the changes in the needs. The employee also has a responsibility as well, correct?
Absolutely. We tell service members you need to share your drill schedule as you know it with your employer. And I always say, not just tell your supervisor, send them a text, send them an email. You get your schedule for the year, and that's a tentative schedule, and you just send it so your employer can plan some things.
Correct, and it's always best practice to, even if you're like, hey, heads up, they're talking about something happening. I mean, it's just always best to give your employer more information as you can and just say, heads up, this is what's going to happen. How can we prepare earlier? It may not happen. I know a lot of people are afraid to tell their employer they're even in the military. And then this might come up and it's like, surprise.
Right.
I don't have a choice here.
I keep thinking of the different parts of the law that apply. A service member, is applying for a job. He's not required to tell the employer that he's in the Guard or Reserve. However, the dilemma comes if the employer asks the service member.
Yeah.
Some employers will use that as a reason not to hire, which is, again, another violation of the law. The law states you cannot not hire use a double negative there. You cannot not hire someone because of their military obligations.
And I know just personally, from my military experience, I love having my military resume on my actual resume because I think it shows a lot of leadership. It shows a lot of, working with others, all the skills that you learn in the military. So if I were to apply for a new job, and I would be afraid to have that on my resume, that would be troublesome because I see it as a boost, not as a negative.
I would agree with you. However, everybody is different, especially when you're 18 or 19 years old and applying for a job. You have second thoughts about a lot of different things. So that's an individual choice whether to do it or not. We do, when we have we do a lot of briefs with employers. We call them breakfast with the boss, but it's a brief with the boss where we explain all the positive things that a member of the Guard or Reserve brings to the employer that he wouldn't get otherwise. The appropriate dress, the ability to take orders, the ability to make decisions, the ability to stand on their own. So there's a lot of a lot of
The other big
advantages.
part about that is the education and certificates that a member may get. So say someone who works as a guardsman in our communication squadron, they're required as a military guardsman to be up to date on all of the certifications for, fixing computers and working on the network and troubleshooting and things like that. Their employer gets that as a benefit in that employee. They don't have to pay their employer now to get that training. They're getting it while they're as a guardsman.
Absolutely. The military is always doing training, so
Always.
it's a benefit for any employer.
In addition to other things like first aid training and things like that, they can also bring additional training just to have on hand for the workplace. I know we have some guardsmen in public affairs. Their training is almost 7 months long, and they know how to write, they know how to take pictures, they know how to do video work. So they're an asset to any news station or radio or newspaper, and they're already coming trained and experienced.
Yeah. And Melanie, we kind of had this debate earlier this morning. We're talking about active duty versus guard. And one of the things that you don't really have on the active duty side is that struggle between your guard life and your civilian life. And we have firsthand seen or heard accounts of our guardsmen saying that my employer is saying X, Y, or Z.
Right.
And it's causing stress issues, and so it's great that we have a program to really combat that.
Now, can you tell me about the spouse program? The program can also support spouses, and give me an example.
Yeah, an example is I just had a case, so I don't want to go into that. But let me say that under certain circumstances, the spouse of a service member is entitled to coverage under the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act, as long as it has something to do with the service member's duties, in other words.
Okay. So for example, if they normally have childcare covered and they have to change childcare, that might temporarily affect, or are we talking like if they have to move?
More likely when they have to relocate
Okay.
because of orders and extended
Yeah,
time.
we have had, while we've been converting to the F-35, we've had many of our guardsmen have opted to be corps cadres, so they've had to leave for about 2 years for training. So yeah, I can definitely see that happening. I also want to talk about the positive side of ESGR. So you guys offer what's called the Freedom Award, but maybe I'm not talking about all of it, but you can award your employer for actually going above and beyond, following the law, but going above and beyond what they're doing.
Yes, because we're part of the Department of Defense, our program, we have that, and at various levels. And any service member or spouse can nominate his or her employer for an award. Initial award is called the Patriot Award.
Right.
And they can do that. And then if there are various ways they can handle it, if they like, we can do the presentation of the award with the service member. And it's a good PR for any company out there. Plus, once we do that, that company's name goes on our website. So if as a service member you were looking for who's a good automotive dealer, well, if that one's gotten the Patriot Award, you may want to consider that. Then there are various levels. The ultimate one, which you mentioned, is the Freedom Award, and there's 5 of those given a year, 5 in each category. There are 3 categories: large business, small business, and what we call nonprofit, like police, fire, whatever. And usually somewhere around, I'm going to say 3,000 nationwide that are nominated, and it gets down to 15.
Wow.
We've been fortunate here in Massachusetts. We've given out 3 so far. We didn't. They actually go to Washington to get the award.
Wow.
And we've had 3. We got a good candidate this year for a 4th one. So
Now, do they have to have done the other 2 first to get the Freedom Award?
No and yes. Technically, they only need the Patriot Award. But remember, you're competing with 1,000 other companies or organizations also applying. and only 5 are going to be selected. So it's,
Wow.
Yeah.
So it looks good if they've already received some awards.
yes.
I would encourage any guardsmen who, get ahead of the game and nominate your employer, because you don't want to wait till there's a problem. Because when maybe if they know you're in the military and they're supporting you, say a deployment comes up, if you already know you have their back, they have your back, you want to put them in.
Then Earl, I think the first time I ever met you was in November of 2024 when we did that boss lift, and I believe we gave out a few Patriot Awards for some employers there.
Yes, we did. That's another one of those things that we depend upon the military to also help the military. You mentioned the boss lift, and basically they're an opportunity. For example, out of Barnes here, we've taken KC-135, the refueler, and taken service members' civilian employer, usually their supervisor, up and do a refueling operation, etc. So it's pretty good. Also at Westover, we'll take the Galaxy C5, that big old plane, and we'll fly up around Mount Washington and back.
Very cool.
And we've done some other fun things too. Black Hawk helicopter rides.
Yeah,
are
we've
very
combined it with
popular.
the Air and Army side. Those
Correct.
worked well.
Yep.
I would also, again, encourage any civilian, any guardsmen to work with their employers. We can bring them out on tours, and if you get a group from your shop, say, for instance, security forces. There's several of you who are police officers outside of our security forces squadron. If you wanted to bring in a couple of your employers, we would work a tour to show them what you do on the base and add a little extras into it. So Public Affairs is definitely willing to work with you. Boss lifts, we're not even sure where those are going right now, but we'll be creative. We'll do what we can, because this is a very important thing. We need the civilian employers to support the military members. Otherwise, they can't do their job on either side.
Absolutely.
Same with spouses.
You mentioned spouses and service members, and I'm going to make a sales pitch here. We're looking for volunteers, whether it's service members or if you've never been in the service, or you're the spouse of a service member and you want to be more involved. We'd love to have you become a member and volunteer with us. I have to say we have low expectations. By that I mean we have one mandatory meeting a year for training, and the rest of it is either online or we have a meeting a quarter. You're not required to attend, but to stay up on what's going on in our calendar, that's what we have.
I see you quite often, though. Is not required?
No.
No?
No.
I think he just likes the 104th Fighter Wing. Earl does everything volunteer, and it's amazing. So I see him all the time, and everything he's doing is volunteer, because he truly does feel that this program is valuable, it's needed, it's important.
Also, I like the money. We get reimbursement.
Okay, there we go.
Reimbursement for gas, but of course, the price of gas today, I don't know.
There's the incentive. I think that's an incentive for anybody to take on this.
Yes. But it's only for the travel, not a blank check for what we do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and anytime that we see you in our office, we pipe up. We love
Everybody
seeing
lights
you.
up, yeah.
So, okay, so let's say that we have a member that is dealing with an employer that is being hesitant on letting them do their service, or let's say a member wants to submit their employer for one of these Patriot Awards. How do they go about doing so?
Okay, there are two different questions there, really.
Yes.
In Massachusetts, we have an office, and I'm going to give you the phone number for that office. It's 339-202-4816. We have one paid person. Her name's Christine, and she's very knowledgeable and can help you, guide you if you have inquiries or questions. As far as the rest of what we do, there is a website. It's www.esgr.mil for military, and you can find out a lot more about what we do and how we do it there.
Yeah, a lot of good information on that site too. Also, if you have any concerns or any questions, visit our wellness center at the 104th Fighter Wing, and they have Earl's contact information. They'll know when he's coming back out on the base as well, and if you don't get that number, they'll have it there for you.
Yeah, I'm a 24/7 volunteer. This is not part of my normal day.
We appreciate it.
We just like to see you.
When we had the big build-up for the Middle East, Westovers had me at 3 in the morning. Can you do 3 in the morning? And I said, I can do it. Can you stay awake?
Well, it was so nice to have you here. We're very happy to hear. Can't wait to see you again on the base. And I think that's it for our podcast today. So
I think we're good.
all righty.
Thank you, Earl, so much. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Okay.